Hi everyone, this is Ashley with Marshflower Studio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these super cute little tooth monsters. I call them tooth monsters because they are kind of in the shape of a tooth. And for quite a few of these, I have added a little pocket to them. And you can put the little pocket on the front or you can put it on their back and use it as a tooth fairy pillow. If you have kids that are in that age range, and you can, customize these for them in whatever their favorite colors are. My daughter has one. She's used it since her very first tooth, and she just thinks it's super cute to have like a little monster that watches over her tooth until the tooth fairy comes for it. So I've done a little bit of pre-crocheting to make this video go a little bit faster today. I'm still going to walk through everything, still going to do some of the parts and pieces so you can see that, but hopefully this will be a little bit better. So I'm going to set these two guys to the side, and for the legs, you'll need 2 legs. We'll start with our magic circle, and I'm using the 5mm hook because this is not a keychain kind of size. And I feel like the 5mm makes it a little bit more squishy and snuggly for kids to play with. So we'll have our 6 single crochets in our magic circle. 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll pull that tight. And our next row is 6 increases, so we'll have 12 stitches at the end of this row. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. So then our next row will be a single crochet and increase with a total of 18 for the row. So we'll have 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, and then 6, 7 and 8, 9, 10 and 11, then 12, 13 and 14, 15, 16 and 17, and 18. So we're going to do one more increase row out to 24. So you'll have 2 single crochets and an increase. I like to do my increases on some of my rows at the beginning. So on this row it's at the beginning. So 1 and 2, then 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22, 23, 24. Okay, so then we're going to do 6 rows of single crochet. So I'm going to pop my first 2 stitches and my stitch marker so I don't have to count. If you have one or two more, one or two less for this pattern, it's not going to hurt anything. With all of my stuffed animals or monsters, I like to give them fun little names. And sometimes it is something as simple as naming it for the color of yarn that I used. If it's got kind of a cool color name. Sometimes I go on Pinterest and just look up popular names, old-fashioned names, beachy names, southern names. Kind of come up with some of them that way. With the blue monster that I had out a second ago, the color name for that one was Pebbles. So he actually got the name Pebbles. The pink one, let me look and see what her name is. Her name's Rosie. So this one that I'm working on right now is going to be named Sprinkles, because this yarn reminds me of sprinkles on a cupcake. I have another one that I'll show you in just a minute. And the name of the color of the other one is Beret Day. But I don't really think that suits this little monster. So I'm going to have to come up with a different name for him. So if you have any suggestions on names, pop those in the comments. One, two, three, four. So 2 more rows, and then this little leg will be done. And I'll show you how we join the legs for these guys. And I would like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has posted comments. It makes me happy that there are other hookers enjoying these video tutorials. Okay, so I've got my 6 rows of single crochet. You're going to do 2 of these. I went ahead and made another one earlier so that you didn't have to watch me make 2 of them exactly the same. I can take my stitch marker out here for a few minutes, and for this little guy, I didn't fasten this one off. All right. We are going to chain 2 from this leg, and then we'll just jump right over to the next stitch from where we finished off and single crochet, and we'll go all the way around. Whoops. We'll go across that chain 2 with 2 single crochets. Sometimes this gets a little tangled when you're pulling it from the center. Go. So all the way to that very last stitch where we fastened off, and then we'll jump over to this chain and do 2 single crochets in the chain, and then this is where we started, so we'll jump over to this next available stitch and do our single crochets all the way around this other leg. So if you've seen the Pocket Monster video, this is very similar to that. It's just a bit bigger. So you can do color changes to give them clothes. You can do stripes. All right, so I did, sorry, talking about other fun stuff. I did my 2 single crochets in the other side of the chain that we put in the middle, and then this marks where we would start our new rows from. So we have both of our legs. At some point, you may want to use this tail and kind of sew this hole shut. I do that just because it looks a little messy and sloppy when you leave it open and you can see that much stuffing through. I'm not going to do that right now because for the next 19 or so rows, you're just doing single crochet. So I've already done one that I have the legs done and the 19 rows of single crochet. So if you're crocheting along with the video, hit pause until you finish your 19 rows. Of course, you can make it a little shorter. You can make it taller. But once you finish the number of rows that you want to do, hit start again, and then you'll be caught up with the second one that I have ready. And this is my Beret Day color. I was really happy with it on the skein, not as happy with it once I've used it. But it's definitely a color that will draw attention for anyone that likes more of these kind of jewel tone fall colors. So I've got my legs, I've got my 19 rows of single crochet, and we're going to jump back in here and start to close this guy up. So I left my stitch marker down here just to kind of keep track of where I am in the round. You don't have to have a perfectly precise starting place, because to close this up, we're going to do 2 rows of 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So it pulls the top part of that head in pretty quick without more of a rounded shape. And then we'll have a single crochet decrease row, and then we will just decrease to close in the top of the head. So I'm actually going to start by putting some stuffing down in the legs so that I don't have to try to squeeze my hand through a tiny hole in a few minutes to get that part done. And again, you want to stuff it so that it's filled, but not so tight that you can see your stuffing through the holes. And this is a great project where you could add all kinds of different little fun things to him. You can applique hearts, stars, backpacks, any other little shape you might want to do. So my first row where I have 2, so 1 and 2, and then decrease, 1 and 2, and then a decrease, 1 and 2, and a decrease, 1 and 2, and a decrease, 1 and 2, and a decrease, 1. I'm actually going to take this pin out because that noise is a little bit annoying. So 1, 2, and decrease, 1, 2, and decrease, 2, decrease, 1, 2, and 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 decrease. So that's the first row of these decrease rounds. So I'm going to do another one exactly the same, 2 single crochets and a decrease. And of course there won't be as many. So we'll talk eyes in just a second, and we'll do an arm, and then you'll be ready to finish up your little monster pal. Or, sorry, not monster pal, that's the little ones. Your tooth monster. All right, so Now I'm down to my single crochet decrease row. As soon as we finish this row, we will just do decreases until we're pretty much closed up at the top. So if you kind of poof it out a little bit, you'll see how more of a sharp turn this has to go in versus being a lot more rounded at the top. So I'm going to put some more stuffing down inside my little tooth monster here. And you can absolutely make these in white and add a little tooth pocket in whatever your kiddo's favorite color is. You could embroider their name on the front if that's something you're good at doing. I am not particularly good at embroidery, especially letters. Embroidering on crochet work isn't quite the same as embroidering on actual like embroidery fabric, because this is definitely not a straight grid here. All right, so I'm going to decrease the top until it's all the way closed down. I may add a little bit more stuffing if I feel like it needs it. You could even add a few sprigs of hair to the top. Any way that you can add personality or some kind of uniqueness to your work, I think, is always what makes them a little extra special to people. So it could just be the wacky color that you use. Okay, so I'm going to do a slip stitch and cut my yarn here. I'll sew this closed in a few minutes. For the eyes for these guys, if you want to add the eyes without the white part, you can obviously do that. Just make sure that you put them on before you've completely closed in the top so you can still reach it. The white parts of these eyes, I have done a magic circle with 6 single crochets, a 6 increase row, so we have 12, and then an 18 increase row where you have a single crochet and increase. So it's got 3 kind of rows on here, and you can pop these eyes anywhere inside that to give them a little bit more of their quirky personality. I have some eyes ready for this guy, and they'll probably go something kind of like that. So I just stuck the eyes and their backings right on the white part. And then I'll sew around these to get them on. You can add a little smile, little mouth if you'd like. The arms are also going to be pretty easy. They're nice and short and stubby. So we're going to do 6 single crochets in our magic circle. I like to use just 6. Sometimes I use more, but 6 to me is a nice circle without making it so that that center part is too tight or too hard to pull tight. All right, so we're going to do our 6 increases. So we'll have 12 stitches when we're done. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Then we're going to have 3 rows of single crochet. So we're going to do 36 single crochets total. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Okay. From here we're going to do a row of single crochet decrease, and that'll take us down to 8 stitches total. And so 1, 2, 3, and decrease on 4, 5, decrease on 6, 7, and decrease on 8. So I'm going to put just a little bit of stuffing down in the arms, and you can make your arms longer, certainly if you want them to be a little longer. Everybody has different feelings about proportion, so make them how you want them to be, right? And then we're just going to do a slip stitch, and we'll single crochet through both layers to kind of sew this shut. Do a little chain one at the end. Leave enough to sew the arm to the body. And your arms are done. So you'll have 2 arms, and we'll just sew them right to the side. I usually like to put the eyes on first and then decide where my arms should be. And if you really want to do something even more kind of cute and quirky, you can just give them one big eye. There's a very popular movie, especially among my kiddos, that I have done this pattern for them. And I've done a little bit of black down at the very bottom. Then we do a denim blue. And then we do yellow. And I kind of sew on some little extra pieces on top so that it looks like they're wearing overalls. And then with the eyes, instead of just kind of stopping with the white piece, I'll go around the outside edge in a slip stitch, usually in like a dark gray. And then I will make a chain that kind of wraps around the back so that it comes, you know, 2 big old goggles right there in the front. So that's something you can definitely consider as well. You know, be creative with it, have fun with it, customize it. And this is a great little project. Remember to hit the thumbs up button and like the video for me. Subscribe so you can see other videos that I make. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and supporting crochet. It's definitely a lost art that we should kind of bring back. You know, having custom things versus mass-produced things. So, thanks for watching. I hope you'll stick around and see some of my other videos as they come out. Bye!